Hi, this is Kit Cabela of Harlan's Media. Our continued coverage of the July 3rd reentry event here at the McCormick Place in the city of Chicago. Today I'm joined here with...
Demel Hannah.
All right, Demel, I heard your speech earlier in there, and it's quite empowering. I don't think a lot of people know what you had to go through. So in short order, can you at least explain what struggles you had to face with reentering into society?
Really just, the whole reintegration and trying to get reacclimated to society really was, it was very emotionally taxing, because coming from prison back into society, it is a total social difference, you know what I mean? Because in prison, I've been knowing these people, you understand? Like I'm familiar with my environment. I know this guy. I've been on the gallery with him for 5 years. I know this guy, he's my cellmate. And then when you come back out here in prison, when you come back out here to society, you don't know these people. So there's a level of anxiety when you're around a lot of people on trains, on buses, just walking. Is a high level of anxiety that you experience because you don't know these people. You don't know if these people have weapons on them. You know what I mean? So you experience really a high level of anxiety. And then just the stresses. The stress level is different. In prison, you don't have any decisions. Like the system have taken away all your decisions. So when you come back out here to society, its decisions have been placed back upon you. You gotta work. They don't give you free food. You gotta, you need shelter. There isn't a lot of programs in the state of Illinois due to, the budget crisis. So you can't go get any, free clothes, free shoes. If you don't have that moral and financial support, it's gonna be an everyday struggle.
All right, and what organizations are out there to help prisoners re-enter into society? Can you name a few?
Well, yeah, I've been in contact with an organization called the Big Homies Club. They do a lot of mentoring. They provide clinical services. Safest Foundation was good for me. I had to do my anger management, which was a part of my parole stipulations. You have a CAPS program on 117th and Halsted. They assist young men and women that is struggling, looking for employment. They assist them getting that, obtaining their birth certificates, Social Security, because you need all this stuff. You can't obtain employment without these identifications, without these documents. So them are three of the programs that I had utilized, that I was informed about, upon my release.
And essentially, of course, there's a lot of reforms that are needed in prison. What would you like to see done to help prisoners if there are any reforms implemented?
Well, the most important thing that those individuals need in there is education. Education. And I believe, because a lot of people, they be like, man, you're smart, you're intelligent, you love to read, you love to write, all that stuff. But this was something that I had imposed upon myself. Rehabilitation and reformation is just rhetoric. Systematic dehumanization is a reality in prison. So nobody forces you to go to school. You have to want this. But I believe they should force everybody in prison to go to school, but the only way they can do that is by creating more programs, employing more teachers, investing more into prison, not just the individual, but where he needs to be upon release. Because if a person go in without an education, he shouldn't come out without an education. He should come out with an education. Like the lady said, I forgot her name, but he should know how to write a resume. He should know how to fill out an application. And surprisingly, the majority of individuals that come out of prison, they don't know how to fill out an application. They don't know how to draft up a resume. They don't even know how to really talk to someone that is looking to employ them. So these are things and programs that I think really needs to be implemented, because I think they could be really imperative to the individual that is expecting release.
Of course, there are many men and women who are getting out of prison and reintegrating to society, and currently our elected officials in Springfield are right now talking about passing a budget, because we have a budget without the next 3 years. What do you want to say to our elected officials in Springfield in regards to the rights of prisoners who are reentering into society?
Yes, the amendments that was drafted hundreds and hundreds of years ago by our forefathers, right? Uh, we still maintain our rights. You know what I mean? When we're in prison, like I had filed a 1983 of civil rights because I had utilized the grievance system. You know what I mean? And because I utilized the grievance system and I exercised my Sixth Amendment, and my First Amendment, my right to freedom of speech and right to redress the courts for grievances, I was thrown into segregation. I was retaliated against for exercising my rights. So, I think it really should be, because Springfield, the Administrative Review Board, in Springfield, the ARB, they controls, or they reinforce. They like they're kind of like the executive branch. They reinforce those laws and those policies that have been, in that inmate manual that every prisoner get when he enters that particular facility. I believe our legislators need to really make sure those policies are being enforced equally, not just to the individual that is being confined, but to the person that we have employed, that we have trusted, with that individual, and to treat him like he's a human being. I think that should be enforced, and when we come back into society, our past shouldn't equals prologue. What I did in my past, that shouldn't be, like the introduction to who I am, like I'm introducing myself to you. Our past shouldn't equals our prologue. We should be given a clean slate, you understand? And they need to eliminate that box. Eliminate that box off of the application where it say, have you ever been convicted of a felony? That needs to be eliminated, because this is essentially, if I check the box, you can say you're not discriminated against me, but that is really Jim Crow being reintroduced. The Jim Crow that existed in the 60s, that is a form of Jim Crow rearing his ugly head again and really denying me the opportunity to really be reacclimated back into society as a citizen. You know what I mean? And I really think that's most important, that we eliminate that box.
All right, and final question. I've asked this to a couple of people who I've already interviewed already. What do you want to say to people who are leaving prison right now and trying to reintegrate to society? What do you want to say to them?
Well, the best advice I can give you is just relax. Relax. Don't rush. Don't rush nothing. You know what I mean? You've been gone, however long you've been gone, take your time. Just take your time. Don't succumb, whatever environment. If you have to go back to that same environment in which you came from, don't conform to those old traditions. Don't conform to those old traditions. Don't try to amalgamate and blend back into that bad company that probably was the result of you falling into a situation. Take your time. Accept the challenge, because you're going to have more lows than highs that first 6 months. You're going to have more lows than highs. So just take your time. You know what I mean? If you need to, if you have to work a seasonal job, just work it so you can get that work history, so you can build your resume, and just take your time and believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. Believe in yourself. Keep a clean mind. I always tell people, do not come out here and party. Just because you've been to prison and you're back, that don't mean you should be celebrating. You haven't done anything. So don't come out here and party. Keep a clean mind, free of toxins, free of contamination, and just walk within your purpose, man. And whatever you want, whatever you said you was going to do out in while you sat in that cell, execute that vision and make it happen. I did 18 years in prison. I'm a CDL driver. I drive 18-wheelers. I've been out 14 months. That's nothing impossible. That's nothing improbable. Just take your time.
All right, that's a good note to end it on. Thank you so much for joining Hard Lens Media. Peace to you, everyone.